करने के लिए। पहला सवाल, आपने एक बॉम्बशेल अनाउंसमेंट अभी हाल ही में किया है कि आप एक रीजनल पार्टी शुरू करने का उम्मीद है आपका, और यू आल्सो वुड लाइक टू टाई अप विद सम स्मॉलर पार्टीज। व्हाट वाज द मोटिवेशन, आपका थिंकिंग क्या था इसके पीछे?
कांग्रेस डिसाइडेड दैट दे वांट शायद यंगर प्रोफाइल के लोग चाहिए, उनकी पता नहीं क्या सोच थी, तो उन्होंने डिसाइड कर लिया कि आई मस्ट गो, सो आई लेफ्ट द पार्टी एंड आई डोंट थिंक आई एम इन। आज मैं इतना नहीं हूँ कि मैं बिल्कुल ही घर बैठ जाऊँ। पंजाब मेरा प्रांत है, पंजाब मेरा प्यार है, और मैं अपने पंजाब के लिए जो करना चाहता हूँ मैं करना चाहता हूँ। मैंने आपको जानता हूँ, ये 9वीं इलेक्शन हो गई, 2 बार असेंबली पार्लियामेंट से और 7 बार उधर से, और मैं इधर कभी भी नहीं खुश रहा। मैं अपने स्टेट को वापस जाता था। तो मैं ये फैसला किया कि घर नहीं बैठूंगा, फिर और तरीका क्या है, और तब किसी को ज्वाइन कर लो या अपनी बना लो। तो मैंने सोचा कि अपनी पार्टी बना के नॉन पार्टीज के साथ सीट एडजस्टमेंट करके हम इलेक्शन लड़ेंगे।
लेकिन as you said, you're close to 80, इस उम्र में एट द फैग एंड ऑफ योर पॉलिटिकल करियर, ऐसे एक डिसीजन पे अराइव करने के लिए ही, मतलब what was the thinking process for that?
Well, Murad Prime Minister had 92 and प्रकाश सिंह बादल 95 के हैं, वो भी अभी चीफ पेट्रन ऑफ अकाली दल हैं, मेरे से 15 साल बड़े हैं, 16 साल बड़े, तो ही इज़ एक्टिव। वाई शुडंट आई बी एक्टिव? यू कैन बी यंग एट 80 एंड यू कैन बी ओल्ड एट 50।
कप्तान साहब, लेकिन द पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ पंजाब, there's already 3 parties, ऑलरेडी कांग्रेस और अकालीज के बीच में है मोस्टली द फाइट। अभी हाल ही में एक दो इलेक्शन में आम आदमी पार्टी भी आ गई है। व्हाई डू यू बिलीव कि एक 4th पार्टी को there are stakes or a 4th party will be preferred in Punjab?
I think people are getting fed up. आज जो मुझे लग रहा है कि अकाली दल का तो वही जो सैक्रिलेज के इश्यूज हैं वही लेके इसको बैठी हुई हैं, चाहे बरगाड़ी, बाइबल कला, जवाहर के, कोट कपूरा, ऑल दैट इज स्टिल गॉट देम डाउन। एंड जो हमारी सर्वेज हमने की हैं, दे आर शोइंग नो ग्रोथ, इनफैक्ट डिक्लाइन कुछ शो कर रही हैं। कांग्रेस हैज लॉस्ट ग्राउंड वेरी फास्ट। आज से कोई 6 महीने पहले तो वी वर इन अ वेरी गुड पोजीशन, वेल कांग्रेस वाज इन अ वेरी गुड पोजीशन, बट सब्सिक्वेंटली फॉर सम रीज़न डाउन हुआ। कारण ये है, एक तो उन्होंने प्रेसिडेंट ऐसा बना दिया हु इज जस्ट क्रिएटिंग केओस ऑल द टाइम, मिस्टर सिद्धू, एंड यू नो एंड में आके जस्ट बिफोर द इलेक्शंस आप लोगों को बदल दो, किसी को डाल दो, बैड ब्लड हो जाती है, एंड दैट बैड ब्लड इज ऑल्सो इफेक्टिंग, एंड द राइट पीपल आर नॉट इन द राइट जॉब्स। अब मेरे टाइम में देखो, आई हैड व्हेन आई बिकेम, जब मैं चीफ मिनिस्टर बना, मुझे कह दिया गवर्नमेंट बना लो, तो मैंने बना दी। जो मैं ठीक समझता था, जिनको पोर्टफोलियो जो देना था मैंने दे दिए। अब तो हर चीज़ दिल्ली से होती है। हाँ, जब चीफ मिनिस्टर को रोज ही बुला लेते हैं कि इसको ये पोर्टफोलियो दो, इसको ये कर दो, इसको वो कर दो। मैं तो 2 मिनट ऐसे ही नहीं काट सकता, और मैं 9.5 साल चीफ मिनिस्टर रहा हूँ, किसी ने मुझे इंटरफेरेंस नहीं की। अब तो टोटल इंटरफेरेंस हो रही है।
ये जो हुआ आपके और कांग्रेस हाईकमान बोलो या जो भी बोले आप कांग्रेस लीडरशिप के साथ, डू यू थिंक इट वाज पर्सनल व्हाट हैपेंड, और आप?
I know the family well. I've been, in fact, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi and he was one young junior to me in school, but I've known him since 1954. तो कितने साल हो गए, 70 years के करीब हो गए। तो it's more or less of it was a very close relationship which we had. I do not know why they've done it. That is of course I've never questioned it. जब उस सुबह जब इन्होंने PCC sorry the legislature CLP जिसका मैं चेयरमैन था और प्रेसिडेंट था एज चीफ मिनिस्टर, मेरी ड्यूटी बनती थी कि मुझे कह रहे थे कि हमने CLP की मीटिंग बुलानी है, मैं बुला लेता। तो मुझे किसी ने बताया नहीं। दिल्ली से टेलीफोन हर MLA को कह दिया कि 5 बजे मीटिंग है। मैं तो सुबह के टाइम बैठा अखबार पढ़ रहा था, किसी ने कहा जी क्या मीटिंग किस लिए बारे है? मैंने कहा कौन सी मीटिंग? कहते CLP हो रही है 5 बजे। मैं कहा क्यों? कहते पता नहीं जी, एवरीवन हैज रिसीव्ड कॉल दैट नाइट। सब रातों रात इन्होंने कर दिया। तो फिर मैंने कहा मस्ट बी समथिंग। देन 10:15 बजे के करीब कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट का टेलीफोन मुझे आया कि अमरिंदर, मैं समझती हूँ कि आपको रिज़ाइन करना चाहिए। मैं कहा श्योरली टेक माई रेजिग्नेशन। एंड मैं 5-4 बजे जाके मैंने रेजिग्नेशन दे दिया। I have no problem. I never asked them, never even done once कि मुझे क्यों आपने change किया.
लेकिन आपने कभी उनसे नहीं पूछा कि why are you doing this? What is the rationale?
Not even that. जब उन्होंने कहा कि all she said was कि Amarinder, I think you should resign. I said, fine, ma'am, I'll resign. I'll call the governor and take a time. And I took a time. He gave it at 4 o'clock. मैंने दे दिया. मैंने उनको नहीं पूछा कि क्यों कह रहे हो आप.
But is the door still open? मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ. I know it's hypothetical. अगर नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू कांग्रेस पार्टी में नहीं है शामिल in a future date, are the doors still open for Amarinder Singh?
No. It's over. As far as the Congress is concerned, it's over. Okay. I want to tell you that I've had a good innings. I have no regrets. But there comes a time that your own pride and you have a situation where, I've been 52 years in politics. I don't want to be, I'm not a horse to be put out to pasture. Okay. Let's put it. I've got plenty of go in me and I'll use that go.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the go. Let's talk about the future. In yesterday's statement, आपने ये भी बोला कि बीजेपी हो, बाकी छोटी parties हो, उनके साथ you're hoping that कुछ understanding होगी. Today there's been a series of reactions. Akali Dal leadership ने भी react किया है. Congress, your former colleagues have also reacted and basically said कि this now reveals कि Amarinder Singh was always B team of the BJP. आप उसको कैसे react करें?
Always what?
You were the B team of the BJP. That you were doing
that
the BJP
is a question of saying things, doing things. I mean, look, I had the most cordial relationships when I was Chief Minister with Mr. Vajpayee. How can a government of the state operate without a government of the country? You need finances, you need so many things. I had it with them. And at the time when Dr. Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister, we went to Dr. Manmohan Singh and said that, sir, you are giving too much to Mr. Badal and that is affecting us party. And he said to me, and I think Mrs. Bhattal put this question to him and some others, he said, I am the Prime Minister, I have to look after all states. So when you have to do it, you have to do it. I have to go to the NSA because there's a security problem. I have to go to the Minister of Home because it's a farmer's problem that could contribute to a security problem. फिर मैंने जाना है अपने प्राइम मिनिस्टर को कभी ना कभी जब एक दो बार साल में कुछ कॉल ऑफिशियली ऑन हिम कोई काम नहीं उनसे के साथ होता हम तो मिनिस्ट्री से होते कौन सा मिनिस्टर मेरा जो नहीं गया माय फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर इज हियर एवरी वंस इन 10 days टू मीट द फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर माय फूड मिनिस्टर को मिलता है नहीं तो हमें पैसे अब पैसे हमें चाहिए 44,000 crore फॉर दिस पैडी व्हिच इज बीइंग हार्वेस्टेड हाउ डू यू थिंक इट्स कम इट्स ऑल द मिनिस्टर्स हैव बीन रनिंग टू दिल्ली but Amarinder Singh is chief minister so he becomes your whipping boy. Fact of the matter is you have to function and I have a good relationship and that is why my Punjab has never had a trouble getting any money from them, government or any other things through them.
We'll talk about the trouble particularly अभी जो एक किसान का जो मामला है एक साल हो गया करीबन एक साल हो गया with this issue. What according to you is the solution to this problem?
You have to take anything you have. Any problem in the world, whether it's a world war or whether it is any other dispute, you have to eventually sit around the table. Okay. Now, the thing here is that there are 3 contentious bills. Yes. Now, we have already got 134 or 35 constitutional amendments. Why can't we look at it in that manner and say, okay, you don't like it, we put these 3 on the cold storage and let's discuss them and we reintroduce the bills. वो नहीं किया. So then we've gone in for this confrontation. Now, since the confrontation, there have been, I think, 4 meetings with with Mr. Tomar and Piyush Goyal and others and all, and they have come down to some things which are now the farmers are agreeing on, and the others. I hope the government agrees. Going to the Supreme Court is no solution for anybody to go. This is a political matter. It has to be. How can a Supreme Court decide on a political matter? This is a political matter. These are political issues. These are issues, and these farmers. Look, I have given 2 lakh rupees to every farmer when I came, about 7,000 crores, to cut down their debt because we had a lot of these farmer suicides and all. Now, how many percentage was that? These were up to people who had 5 acres of land. And that was 72% of the farmers of Punjab own less than 5 acres of land. And more than half of them own 1 acre or 2 acres or 3. How do they survive? They are not looking at themselves. They are all old timers now, like others are. And we all have a time in this world we have to go, but they are looking at their future, of their children, of their grandchildren, what's going to happen if these laws come in. So they want certain guarantees. They want to be given protection, like MSP, for instance. If the MSP, they say that may be amended. All they want is assurance from the government to say that as long as we're here, they can't take a guarantee for the Congress party, they can't take a guarantee for some other party that comes into being, but they can say themselves that as long as we are here, the Prime Minister can say, I am, the MSP will not be amended.
आप ये बताइए कि आपके मुताबिक ये समस्या का हल, you've met the Home Minister 2 or 3 times. I'm sure, you must have also shared ideas कि इसको कैसे सुलझा जा सकता है.
तो उन्होंने टीम्स बनाई हुई हैं आगे जो इनके साथ नेगोशिएशंस करने के लिए वो हैं, और देखो वो नहीं चाहते कि पॉलिटिशियंस इंटरफेयर करूं, तो मैंने ऐसे नहीं इंटरफेयर किया कि उनसे जाके कहा कि ए दो या बी दो या सी दो. मैंने तो सिर्फ उनसे कहा है कि आज आप हैं, and so am I was looking after Punjab, you're looking after national security at the national level. This thing should not be allowed to get out of hand. अगर ऐसी बातें हो, you and I and others, including the Home Minister, understand we are mature enough and old enough people. But there are young people here. Now 407 of my farmers have died. I've given them 5 lakhs compensation to each, and I've given a job each. But if they have 3 sons, one's got a job, what happens to the other 2? They will get bitter. And bitterness can turn to anything. I hear. Just now it's received. This has come today at 12:15 on the 20th. 25 automatic weapons have just been picked up on the border. Now this, I've been Home Minister for 9.5 years of Punjab, and this I'm getting every day. This is somebody just sent me. This has come on the open channel. 25.
It's been tweeted by the Home Minister.
No, it's been tweeted today. This is Ravinder Vasudev. I don't know who he is.
Okay.
And he says the day Punjab Police and so and BSF had recovered a large cache of ammunition. Khemkaran, the Punjab Home Minister says that there's no threat from Pakistan. It's a sarcastic sort of a comment. But the fact is this was picked up last night. And what is it for? Now, we are picking up 1 drone. There may be 3 that have gone by. Who have they gone to? What is the objective of giving it to them? Who's storing them? What are they going to be used for? They don't have recruits today. The sleeper cells of ISI and Pak don't have sleeper cells, or Khalistanis. They don't have sleeper cells. Active cells. So they are storing up the weaponry. Now, who will use them? Those people who are frustrated, angry, they can be recruited. And where does that recruitment come today from? From this movement.
Okay.
So therefore, I say that the sooner it's ended, the better.
I want to come back to the political questions, because there's a lot of charcha in Punjab that you're going to be meeting the Prime Minister soon. You might have a joint rally with him soon. Is that necessarily true?
All speculations. You know what I always say, there are too many channels and too little news. So you guys keep make up all your news.
It's not just the news channels. I think the people are also saying this.
No, there's nothing like that. Of course, when the time comes, once the party is formed and the elections are close by, then we will certainly talk to the BJP about seat adjustments. But I put a little block on that, in the sense that I've said that before we can do anything with the BJP, the government must end this farmer agitation.
So this is the timeline as you see it, if it happens, that पहला ये किसान का मुद्दा जो है उसका समस्या होगा, उसके बाद you will have negotiations.
कर सकते हैं. फिर there are Akali breakaway factions of there's Mr. Dhinsa, there's his son who was finance minister, there's Mr. Brahmanpura who was there, there's Mr. Chotepur who was there, there's Mr. Ravinder Singh there. There's so many Akalis, senior Akalis who are not part of this current mainstream Akali Dal. And they can all come together and come in and form their own.
They just said that if you have any truck with the BJP, he wants to have nothing to do with your alliance.
No. I think he's saying that only because he knows that at the moment people are upset with the BJP on the farm issue.
You don't think the BJP will be a liability for you if you were to have some kind of...
Once they resolve the issue, there's no problem. Abhi tak to hai. Abhi tak to, unless they are able to finish this farmer agitation, there is a sort of a perceptible feeling which is against them. But
many of your old colleagues have also come out today, and I think the Home Minister has said something about it. Harish Rawat, who you very closely interacted with in the last 6 months to a year, they've all said that ultimately now the game is out. So how do you respond to them?
To what? Game is out that I am close to the BJP.
Yeah.
Well, as the Chief Minister, it's my job to be close to the BJP. The government in power, whether it was BJP or anyone, whether it was Mr. Vajpayee's government, or whether it was my own government, or whether it is their government. It is our job. How do I get work done in Punjab? You think this Chief Minister is not going to meet? He's already called on the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. And every minister is going and calling on their counterparts and getting work done. So what's so special in that?
So incidentally, today is 1 month since Mr. Channi took office. How do you see his government's performance?
Channi is working hard. He's a good boy. He's been my minister for 4.5 years. And he was holding two Ministry of Technology and also Ministry of Culture and all. And he was okay on that. It's all right. But it's a question of too little, too late.
Too little, too late.
Yeah, because you've only got another month and a half. Well, by December you'll have the code of conduct, and what can you do in 2 months?
So people are also saying the difference that has happened is आपके खिलाफ जो एक आरोप था कि you were inaccessible. Now Punjab has got a chief minister who is more accessible.
This morning I was discussing this issue. You know what they believe in? They believe the chief minister should become chief minister and run around to every village in Punjab. I've got 13,000 villages. I believe in a different concept because I'm a trained soldier, and you give a task to somebody and you get on with the job. Similarly here, I've got ministers. I've got 16 ministers. Each one is holding a portfolio. He's given what parameters he has to work in. He's given what the policy of the government is, and he gets on with his job. And if he needs to be put course correction made on him, then I'd make it. Or if he needs any advice from me, he'd come to me. It's his job to do the job. If I'm going to go and be Minister of Animal Husbandry, then what am I, or Minister of Water Irrigation, or Minister of Rural Development, or Minister of Urban Housing? How do I get on with the governing the state? Every minister has to do their job and report back to me, and that's been happening. Okay. So that is what they say inaccessibility. Because I like today Mr. Channi is doing. Mr. Channi is running around the whole of Punjab. That's not his job to run around the whole of Punjab. His ministers should be running around the whole of in their departments, and he should be sitting and controlling it from Delhi. Last night he was in Chamkaur Sahib. Last night again he went on to Amritsar. Today he's coming back to somewhere else. And then how do you run the government?
Okay. Last few questions. You have said previously also that you believe Navjot Singh Sidhu will be bad for Punjab. It's a border state.
And that is something I said before he came, because I've known Navjot Singh Sidhu since he was 2 years old. He's a Patiala boy. His father was my mother was incidentally Congress president of Patiala, DCC president in 1967. She came as MP here. And her general secretary, in those days there was one general secretary, was this fellow's father. And he became president then after she came. And he was the one who actually initiated me into the political world.
Sidhu's father initiated you into the political world.
When I came, and my mother said, I think you should get involved. I said, how do I get involved? I'm a soldier. The difference between us is very simple. There are soldiers, for instance, never tell a lie. And I think the politician hardly tells the truth. So that's the difference, So you've got to change your total concept and become something different to what you are.
Where did it change, Kaptan Sahab? Because you're saying Sidhu's father introduced you to politics.
I think Sidhu, he studied in a Patiala school, which my father started, okay. He was an introvert, total introvert, and a boy with some sort of a complex, because he never spoke in school. When he went to cricket playing for Aziruddin, in fact, when he was captain, he just walked off the pitch and disappeared. And so he's that way. Day before yesterday, he had or the day before that, came and concluded a meeting with the Congress president, and next day sent another letter demanding something more. So the man's unstable. And I told this to Mrs. Gandhi before. I wrote her a letter, in fact, and I said, this man is an unstable character, and you can make him if you wish, but one day you'll regret it, and it'll be too late by then, because the elections will be on us.
Coming back to where I started, in 2017, आपने ये बोला था कि this will be my last election.
Yeah.
Clearly it is not. You're going to be fighting this one as well. So what changed?
I think the situation in Punjab changed. One is the farmer issue, then the tremendous build-up of arms and terrorists and all. And I should know, because I have been Home Minister of Punjab, and I had the entire security apparatus and intelligence apparatus under me for 9.5 years. So I know exactly what's been happening. I've got figures here. We have caught over 2,000 terrorists and gangsters, and they're all linked up with each other. And now number of weapons. At one time, I don't know the latest count, we had about 1,200 rifles which had been picked up, nearly 1,000 pistols, over 50,000 rounds of ammunition, umpteens of hand grenades, umpteens of RDX. Now the new thing is these children's tiffin boxes. ये सब आ रहे हैं. Now when I saw that this has happened only incidentally in the last 1.5 years, this is why I changed my mind on this. If you ask Mrs. Gandhi today, I wrote her a letter and I told her, ma'am, this is my last election. Forget about what I said earlier, I'm talking about now. And I want to have the honor of going out with my head held high. So you allow me to carry this party through the elections. And after that, once we win the election, choose your chief minister. And I will resign. And but I will go with my head held high. At that time, I believe she received the letter very well. And then I don't know why this all changed. And this is only 4 months ago, 5 months ago.
कैप्टन अमरिंदर सिंह, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद नेटवर्क 18 के साथ बातचीत करने के लिए. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर टाइम.
Thank you.